Hi everyone, today we're going to make spaghetti squash. This is a spaghetti squash. It's a winter squash, but it's available all year round. And it is really popular now with the whole keto deal because it's now very low, extremely low carbs, and you can use it like pasta. A lot of people don't know how to cook it, so let me show you. And take your knife and just split your spaghetti squash lengthwise. You'll see you have a hard inside and some pits. So what you do is you just take this, place it face down on a microwave safe plate. This is a smaller squash, so it's going to take about 10 minutes. The larger one would take closer to 15. I've seen arguments for people to make the spaghetti squash a couple different ways. You could also do it in the oven. I've done it both ways multiple times. I can find no palatable difference in the flavor between doing it microwave versus in the conventional oven. And it's just honestly a heck of a lot easier to nuke it. So into the science box it goes. So we're going to make a little bit of a sauce there. I'm going to do this with some garlic, some tomatoes, some onions, and spinach. Be a little bit of a cheesy sauce. Put about a tablespoon worth of olive oil into it. We're going to use the leftover cheese sauce that we made, that we put on our tortellini the other day. I'll make sure there's a link in the video. About 2 or 3 videos ago. Take about half an onion and chop her up. Save that for later. Once again, slice an onion. You leave the root end on, cut off the fore end, and you just quick peel it off, and you're good to go. Alright, so we got our onion, and into the fire it goes. A little bit of salt. And I also have a tomato. I'm going to give that a rough chop. Filming this middle of May, we really don't have any good tomatoes in, so I just take whatever looks the best in the store. That's what I end up using. Seeds and all. A little bit of extra liquid will help us make a sauce. Now, one thing to remember here, when you use spaghetti squash, since it is low carb, it doesn't have all those starches that our normal pasta does, which we use to make our sauce. Just keep that in mind. Onions started, gonna season that with some Italian seasoning. About a 1/4 teaspoon of that. A couple of red pepper flakes to give it some spice and character. Now that we got our onions tomatoes going for a second here. Now we can add our garlic in. And I'll add the rest of that tomato juice. You never want to overcook your garlic, especially when you're in the sauteing process. You don't want it to get bitter. It's okay to smell the garlic, but we want it to be a nice sweet smell of garlic, not a stinky, nasty smell of garlic. Alright, we take a look in here. The red pepper flakes are opening up into the oil. Adding some nice flavor there. And all we're looking to do is warm this through because the spaghetti squash tends to be soft, so I want to leave everything else with some texture so I have contrast between the spaghetti squash, which will have some toughness, but it won't feel the same as pasta. So I don't want one big mush fest. So I'm going to turn that down right now. I have about a cup of spinach leaves that I have washed here. And I'm just going to add that to it. Turn my heat down to a simmer. And we're going to wait for our squash to get done. Alright, so it's been about another 2 or 3 minutes. We can see that our spinach is cooked down. Now I'm going to add my leftover cheese sauce and warm that up. I'm going to turn my heat all the way down. This was a combination of a bechamel and a garlic velouté sauce. About 12 to 16 ounces of sauce. Add about 3 ounces of ultra-casa cheese in it, so. And it was worked off of a butter roux, just like any other bechamel would be. And so we're gonna let that heat up, nice and easy, on low heat. And our squash is done. And when you believe it, after 10 minutes, it's hot. So use a glove. I'm going to show you what this looks like now. It's steaming hot. And we have our seeds right there in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a spoon. And take those seeds out. Just get the seeds. Try not to disturb the flesh around the outside, because that's what you're going to end up eating. So now that we got that there, what you do is you take your squash and a fork, and you just go lengthwise and pull off the sides, and you'll end up with these threads of squash that look just like spaghetti. Alright, so I'm going to pull them out, separate them, and add them right into my sauce. In the meantime, I just turned my broiler on. And do the same with my other side here. Very filling, very low carb, very high fiber. It checks off almost all the perfect health boxes, so I put it in this cream sauce. But even the cream sauce is pretty light. The total calories on the cream sauce is around about 900 for 12 ounces. This is the third meal coming out of it. So, that's really not that bad. Take that second batch, get her in there, there we go. Now the beauty of this dish is that everything's hot and ready to go right now. I got a couple little stragglers in here I'm going to put in. Alright, that will be good for the compost later. I'm going to take my squash, get it lightly tossed in my sauce. The sauce is all the way hot, so I basically turned off the heat now. And now to make it a really fun dish, I've turned on my broiler. I have some shredded cheese here. A little bit of Mexican blend. A little bit of Italian blend. This is where it's great to use oven-proof saute pans. Just going to grab my saute pan, throw it underneath the broiler. It should only take about 45 seconds. Alright, so there we go. Just a little bit more than a minute in the broiler. We got this beautiful cheesy bake here. And this will be enough to serve 2 people. So, here we have baked spaghetti squash. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoy.